on the agenda this evening is an ordinance for first read that would reduce the speed limit on several downtown streets, including Sophia Street between Lafayette Blvd and Amelia Street, Caroline Street between Lafayette Blvd and Lewis Street, William Street between Washington Avenue and Sophia Street, and Lafayette between Sophia Street and Prince Edward Street from 25 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour. The staff recommendation is to approve this ordinance on first read. This is one measure in a larger strategy focused on pedestrian safety in the downtown. There's a vibrant, active core pedestrian area in the downtown. It's folks that live there as well as visitors by train, by automobile, people visiting and attending events both in the core downtown and at the newly opened Riverfront Park. In looking at ways to enhance pedestrian safety in that area, there's a mechanism in the state code by which you all may reduce speed limits in a business district. This was low-hanging fruit, as viewed by staff, something that we could pursue immediately. That definition of a business district has some rules attached to it in the definition, and we applied those rules and had a lot of internal debate about how exactly we could apply those rules, and the results are what you see on the map before you this evening. This is part of a larger strategy, and we do want to touch on that. The regulatory speed limit is one avenue. Physical improvements are another. Point out a few things that are ongoing. Traffic calming focused on bicycle boulevards, where Lewis Street, a good example is where Lewis Street, which is a designated bicycle boulevard in the comprehensive plan, intersects Caroline and Princess Anne Street. Those traffic calming pedestrian safety elements are very successful, functioning right now. The City Council just a few moments ago approved the physical conversion of Washington Avenue and Fall Hill Avenue and Morey Street, which is a one-way traffic pair, to two-way. That construction will now occur in FY23. We're also now going to move forward on the downtown engineering study that was, again, just approved in this year's budget to look at additional traffic conversions in and around the neighborhoods in downtown, William Street and Amelia Street, looking at new bicycle boulevards, which will use existing pavement width for bicycle facilities, which will have a positive effect both on mobility and bicycle use, as well as reduce speeds by reducing the sections of pavement dedicated to the automobile. And that study will also look at other physical traffic calming implements and potentially speed limit reductions. So this is a start. This is what the staff thought we could move forward with immediately. It's a positive step for the downtown. We do recommend approval on first read this evening. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to go ahead and vote on this in first read, but I would make a request that when we bring this back for a second read, as opposed to going on the consent agenda, that we do have a presentation a little bit more robust for the public. And I would also ask that the chief be here. I think if we're going to go down this road at 20 miles an hour, there's got to be an enforcement plan initially. We can't just do it and just say, well, we don't have the officers right now, we'll do that later. That's not going to get us anywhere. I'm concerned that we're kind of spotting certain areas at 20 miles an hour and not the whole downtown, which is going to create some confusion and stuff. But I would like to have a little bit more of a robust, this is what we're starting with, this is where we are going, and be a little bit more specific. Maybe some slides that show specifics on it and things of that nature. But really, I think it's important for that there's going to be something in place if we're going to start at 20 miles an hour, that there is going to be some enforcement mechanism early on, not waiting a few years to do this. And I'm hoping that the chief can give us some direction on that.
Enforcement will continue as it is today until we staff up. So I don't want to leave you with the impression, or the public with the impression, there won't be any enforcement. Just
well, no, I understand, but we do have, and we all, I'm not. One of the biggest questions I got, and everybody knows I walk downtown every afternoon, and I talk to people all the time. Whatever it is, and I know that the chief was here and says, oh, we gave so many thousand of speeding tickets last year, but I can tell you most of the response is there can't be very many of them downtown. So I think a presentation to explain exactly how we're going to do this, and I think we should frankly put a little bit extra effort when we roll this out and explaining it to the public and what we're doing and why we're doing it, as opposed to just keeping a normal cycle in play, because right now the perception is not there.
Yes. Mr. Gerlach and then Dr. Duffy.
I just wanted to reiterate a point I made in the work session that folks may not realize. When you lower the speed limit by 5 miles per hour, you're also lowering the threshold for reckless driving, which is important to keep in mind.
It is. It is. Dr. Duffy?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm really glad we're having a discussion about this because it is really important for people to realize, obviously, if you're driving downtown Fredericksburg, you need to be careful about your speed. And I know we're going to do our best to enforce it now and over time come up with ways to increase enforcement. But I'm very supportive of this effort to make the city a more safe and pedestrian-friendly and cyclist-friendly community. And so, I think the point that Mr. Gerlach makes about the seriousness of speeding is really important. And I really like the way that we're trying to approach this problem through many different approaches, many different angles. So I'm very happy about this and happy to support it. Did we have a motion yet?
No, I believe you can
I
make
may
it.
move the ordinance first read, reducing the speed limit from 25 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour in the downtown business district.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? I heartily support this, and thank you, Mr. Craig, and the staff for your work on it.
Motion passes 7-0.